everybody? Sunday night is here again. Corner to Corner show is back right here on the air. The triple threat of internet wrestling radio is in the house, complete in full effect. What's going on? I hope everybody has had an awesome week. Looking forward to the next one. Let's give a real quick welcome back to the main man himself, Rob Hefner. Welcome back from vacation, sir.
What's happening, fellers, and those out in radio, hey, internet show land? I kind of butchered that,
course, I know. Well, you know, I don't generally do the intros too well. I only try to save room so that other people can do better than me.
But we cannot forget the man of the hour. The doctor is in.
The good Dr. Brian Taylor. What's up, buddy?
How y'all doing?
And we're just living the American dream, sir. Living the dream.
The American
dream. Bing, bing, bing. Okay, all right.
Needs more
and
cowbell.
Of course, what did you say?
Needs more cowbell.
Thank you, Christopher Walken.
Yes.
Of course, I'm Stan Grubb, and joining us this evening, as always, on the ones and twos. I always liked it when Corey would say that to you. I always thought that was pretty funny. The Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane. What's up, Eddie?
I got a fever, and that fever can only be quenched. Where's the save shot when I need the damn thing? Come on, keep going.
It's a fever. It's a cumbling, bubbling, stumbling.
Rumbling.
Folks, we have got a lot to talk about. Good news, bad news, all sorts of craziness going on. The news of the week, unfortunately, and last week as well, starting a bit on a down note, and it's tragic, it's sad, it really kind of bothers me to continue to see these kinds of things happen, especially to folks at such young ages. But we saw some losses this week and last week, starting with Ballz Mahoney, ECW original, tag team partner of recently departed Axel Rotten as well. And also, we saw the loss of a true trailblazer for women's wrestling and for the WWE, and women in sports entertainment in general. And that would be the ninth wonder of the world, Chyna, who passed away this week from, we're not really sure. The word is possibly an overdose, but we haven't seen confirmation. And then from the music world, just a horrible loss in the legendary Prince. Just there's too much. 2016 has sucked already for just stars dying off like crazy. It's becoming an uncomfortable habit at this point. Let's go ahead and start off, Rob. Your thoughts on the passing? We'll just do it in order. Your thoughts on the passing of Ballz Mahoney?
I think it was just one of the originators of that kind of wrestling style. I mean, he was just never got his. I don't think he ever got his deserves in the mainstream wrestling federation, shall we say? And but yeah, sad to see him.
Yeah, sad to see his passing. Brian, your thoughts on the passing of Ballz Mahoney?
It's a tragedy. I think it's time that people wake up and stop messing with stuff that'll get you killed in the long run. And you know, again, anytime a life is taken by your own hand is truly tragic, and there's enough information to people to read and understand what you're doing and putting in your body if that's what he was doing, and it's just time to stop. As a country, we need to stop.
Yeah, I mean, the years of abuse of different substances over the time did not help Ballz Mahoney's overall health. You know, from what I had read and what I had heard, he had passed away in his sleep. He was one moment talking to his wife while he was laying on the couch. Next moment, he was gone. Over time, much like when Eddie Guerrero passed, over time that type of substance abuse will have an impact on your heart, your circulatory system. I'm tongue-tied already. It's just it's a damn shame. I get tired of seeing just people that we grew up watching pass away in such awful fashion. Ballz Mahoney was on an ECW original, and I have to agree with Rob. He wasn't necessarily given his just opportunity as far as the WWE's version of ECW or even in TNA. He had a brief stint in each one, but I think his strongest presence was felt in ECW. I don't know that he would have, if there was a better or stronger presence elsewhere. Next, I guess on the list. Before we do that, Eddie, your thoughts on the passing of Ballz Mahoney?
I've covered that one a couple of different times. It was really a sad circumstance. We all understand the concept that for years we live like rock stars in pro wrestling, and sometimes we play a little bit too hard, and it catches up to us. And that's why I agree wholeheartedly with the comment that was made earlier. We have to be more careful. Look, with the untimely passings of some huge stars, and one passing, Doris Roberts, early last week, or late last week, which in her case I think was pretty much natural causes. She lived a great life.
At age 90, I would hope it was natural causes.
Yeah, I think it might have been that bungee cord that broke when she was doing the Grand Canyon. Splat.
This just in. Roberts found face down in a handful of cocaine. There you go.
There you go.
I don't think she was ever into any of that. It's kind of one of those people that you never really heard about as far as
the negatives
or anything like it.
Yeah, the negatives, I understand that. But, but like I said, as far as it goes with Ballz, really unfortunate. I agree he never really as he got better and relied less on the hardcore style and started to move toward a more mainstream style, I don't think he ever got the credit for that he genuinely deserved, and I wish that the time would have come where he could have. But
yeah. Well, I certainly agree wholeheartedly. The next on the list is, I hate the fact that there's even a list. What can you say about a woman who really made her own path? When you look at the work of Chyna, say what you want about her personal challenges and struggles. And some of the commentary on that is valid, some of it not so much. I think I understand the dialogue about her adult career after wrestling, but at the same time, you cannot ever take away the impact of what she brought to the table in WWE and in wrestling in general. First Intercontinental Champion, first woman Intercontinental Champion, first female to enter the King of the Ring, first female to compete in the Royal Rumble. That in and of itself is certainly Hall of Fame worthy and legendary to me. There's tons of speculation about whether or not Chyna makes it to the Hall of Fame now that she has passed. One of the things we talked about on Thursday, and this is something that I'm continuously seeing on Twitter, is the overreaction of fans going after Triple H and Stephanie as if to say that they would wish death upon another person. Now, say what you want about the relationship and whether or not she was done dirty. I tend to agree that she kind of was. But that's all personal material. That's all their personal lives. And none of us, unless we are Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, or Chyna, would ever really know the truth about what happened there. So for fans to go out there and say just some of the dumbest, most ridiculous things to Triple H and Stephanie, like as if to say Stephanie and Triple H lent a hand in the passing of Chyna, like they didn't offer to send her to rehab. Here's the deal, folks. WWE corporate is very open and honest about this. When they have former talent and current talent that are in need of help, they will offer to send them to rehab. They will offer. The talent or the former talent has to accept the offer. Scott Hall went to rehab, double digits. Jake Roberts went to rehab, double digits. I mean, when you're thinking out loud and just kind of looking at the entire roster and former roster that WWE has helped, has assisted, and has accepted help from WWE, I don't know that Chyna ever did that. And that's not meant in a detraction to say that, you know, she was doing something wrong. I think she had a lot of problems, and I think her relationship with Sean Waltman, the domestic issues there, I mean, there's a lot of different things that happened in Joanie Lauer's life that spread into Chyna's presentation online. But for fans to go off and start talking crap to Triple H and Stephanie and start saying, you know, you guys did this to her, this is your fault, things like that, well, one, it's the obvious, it's uneducated and stupid, but at the same time, it's just asinine. It's like you're picking a fight with somebody because you're behind a keyboard. Because there's anonymity. Did I pronounce that right? Because you're anonymous behind that keyboard, you think you can just say and do whatever you want. Heaven forbid anything ever happened, because it is a federal offense, by the way, internet harassment, that they were to ever say, hey, let's just tell the FBI who's been sending us this nonsense. They could actually do it. You could actually get busted. And oddly enough, I've seen it happen. You could actually go to jail. All because of stuff you say on Twitter, Facebook, and chat rooms. It's amazing, but people still do it. People still manage to do their trolling, I guess. Looking at it, though, getting back to, of course, the topic at hand, and that's... I can't help it, Rob. I have a lot to say. But I think when we look at the overall impact that Chyna had on wrestling in general, it is there's no possible way you can take away from what she did for the industry.
Well, I mean, I think what you're talking about, you know, Triple H and Stephanie and Chyna, I mean, seriously, Triple H and Stephanie probably haven't looked back since, ever. Mm-hmm. They moved on. Chyna, sore feelings, you know, whatever happened, of course, there's going to be jilted, you know, if any relationship ends suddenly or anything. Mm-hmm. But it's just one of those things that it's like a favorite TV show. You know, there's people out there that sit there and, you know, cry about and just never realize that certain people are going. And there's wrestling fans still today that hate Hulk Hogan because he turned bad. You know, like
I know of one that sits quietly in his rocking chair.
You know, Hogan hurt me, and you know, it's like, get over it. Yep. And I mean, I think truly with Chyna, she broke down the barriers of some form in wrestling. I mean, I think that Vince was always afraid to take that extra step. But I think she's also an example of somebody who the life left her, but she didn't leave the life, if that makes sense.
It does.
You know, like mainstream and fame and everything left, but she never left it. Like she partied and everything like she was still, you know, because somebody the other day made a comment that they saw her on TV, and it always seemed like whenever they saw her on TV, she was lit. But I agree with what Brian said when he talked about Ballz. I mean, you know, I've always believed that the person's never going to get help until they want it or see that they need it. But if these people who are on top see what they got, you know, I mean, in this day and time when whatever his name is, not Axel, but Adam Rose and I mean, if you're still pissing dirty at this stage in the game, it's time that you just get into a new game, because you know, and it's you know, the Ballz Mahoney stories and the Hawk stories, you know, the Road Warrior Hawk stories, you know, like he partied all the time, and then he finally had found his, you know, his story and his life, and then what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, again, if you've got any kind of, you know, any life, You don't have to be rich and famous to stop doing this kind of stuff. I mean, hell, if you're one of these people listening to the show, stop doing it. Because one day you could meet us. And that's something to live for.
Wow. Okay.
What?
You're right. They could meet us and totally make their... Brian, what are your thoughts on the passing of Chyna?
Definitely a trendsetter. There'll definitely be nobody else like her. Which is a shame. I mean, she did set the bar for a while and changed the way women were perceived in wrestling. I mean, I don't think you'll ever see a female hold a male title again. I'd be shocked if you even had one go in the Rumble again. So for that, she was an entertainer just like the boys, and she was definitely fun to watch. And who can forget the first time she talked on TV? You know, out there with DX showing her butt like the rest of them. So she was good. She was good for her time.
I remember when she debuted and she grabbed Terry Runnels from behind and just started swinging around like a rag doll. Just watching Terry Runnels' arms and legs just flailing like crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was... You could definitely tell her cosmetic changes, which you never know could have come into play somewhere along the way, pain from all that stuff. And you can definitely tell the change. I think she was probably one of the first ones to really embrace that. Because when she first debuted, in the height of her run, it was the body-wise was completely different. I don't recall ever seeing a female go to that extreme to change what they look like in wrestling. So, but she'll be missed.
Yeah, definitely a gap now from her loss. It's interesting because there's so many things that she actually did with WWE and wrestling in general. The feud with Jeff Jarrett winning the Intercontinental title is one. The feud with Chris Jericho winning it the first time. Her storyline with Mark Henry, her storyline with Eddie Guerrero. I mean, who could forget Mamacita? I mean, seriously, that was what made Eddie Guerrero's star even bigger and brighter than it could have ever been. And you wouldn't have had that without that storyline with Chyna. I think eventually he'd have made it, but I think that was one of the things that helped him bust through. When you look at just the contribution to the industry, she was willing to, like Brian said, just roll up her sleeves and be one of the guys and do what was necessary. She never, from what I could tell, never really seemed to complain. She just did what was needed. And then, of course, the cosmetic changes that he brings up. When you look at what she did with her body, I mean, the first time she comes out, I thought she was a dude. And I don't mean that to put her down. I mean, the muscle tone that she had was ridiculous. And then as she just transforms over time, I mean, eventually she gets a biography released, and we know that in the biography it describes an awful lot of challenges as a child. But she transforms that into a Playboy cover girl posing for Playboy. And, later on it kind of snowballed. I think that there's a lesson to be learned when you look at these types of situations, especially with Chyna and with Ballz Mahoney. When you look at just the years and years of abuse of different substances, and it's not just one thing specifically. I mean, you can't just say, kind of like how it was for Matt Hardy, you can't just say it's just somas. You can't just say that it's marijuana or that, painkillers. It's a mixture. It's just a combination of different things, alcohol, all of these things that they go through over time. I mean, it's not just one night of partying and then all of a sudden they're Randy the Ram having a heart attack in a kid's locker room or in the locker room from an indie show. It's crazy. I mean, it's hard to really fathom, because with Chyna, when she passes away here, and it's painful in the aspect of we watched Chyna go through all of the things that she's went through, both positive and negative, and it seemed like she was coming out of the other side. And then all of a sudden this it goes downhill. Now, they were making a documentary about Chyna, and the person that found Chyna's body 3 days after they had last heard from her was the actual director of the documentary. And he indicated in an interview this week that while we would not see actual on-screen footage of Chyna's dead body, that you would see footage of him walking to the door where he found her. So, and apparently this documentary is going to be released. I don't know. I don't know if I can watch. Could you guys watch a documentary that involves finding somebody's body like that? I mean, would you feel comfortable watching something like that?
I watched Full House with Bob Saget. I can watch anything.
Oh, poor Bob Saget.
Sorry, Netflix.
Watch Impact. You can watch that.
I mean, that's like watching a train wreck.
Wait a minute, Impact was actually good this week.
Was it live?
No, I don't think
it was on my television. That's all that mattered.
Was it taped 6 months ago?
That's funny.
Well, I don't think the saddest part about TNA right now is Dixie Carter is just burying them deeper and deeper.
Well, yeah, but with the way they put on shows, which again is several months in advance, because there was a tag team title change, if I remember right. It's hard not to bury him. I would just assume that you just went live from the Impact Zone like it used to be, and just eke out a show. I don't need pyro or none of that stuff to cut costs. Just give me a current, up to date program. I mean, because Eddie's right. It was I actually enjoyed it with the Gail Kim and what's the name of that stupid group?
Rosemary and Crazy Steve. No, Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Abyss.
Yeah, that's it.
The Decay, yeah.
Decay.
Yeah, I mean, they took Gail Kim, and there were some decent promos from Decay and that leading up to the tag team title match. But I don't want to see about it 3 months ago and then it finally happened. I want to just see it happen on TV. I enjoyed it when they were in the Impact and didn't get all crazy and just wrestled. That was one of their problems back in the day, is unlike the WWE, they would just wrestle. And there were no real stories. So if somebody watched looking for stories like the WWE, you didn't get them on TNA. You just had wrestling. So
I think that was the best time. I think that was the best time for WWE, not WWE, TNA, when it was just pure wrestling matches. The X division was at its peak. The tag team division with America's Most Wanted and Triple X. I mean, just great quality wrestling that you didn't necessarily have to have a gimmick or a storyline. You just had good wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that their shows are bad. I hope that in my joking around about TNA, I'm not saying the programming's bad. It's not. It's just they're not making any forward progress. It's like, how many times can you spin your wheels in the same pit of mud before finally you get out of the car and call a tow truck? Ask for help, for crying out loud.
Hold on. Do me a favor. Stan, did I just hear you say that it doesn't have to have gimmicks or storylines? What wrestling show are you watching?
Well,
Pro wrestling has
let's look at Ring of Honor. You have one or two storylines, but the whole card's not on a storyline. They're just out there wrestling, putting on some damn good shows.
There are subliminal storylines all over the place in Ring of Honor. You just because of the fact that, once again, they're taping their stuff 2-3 weeks in advance and they're putting 1 hour of television on, it does require a little bit of fishing before you can find out what's really going on with who.
Not me. I just watch Ring of Honor just for the pure enjoyment.
Same thing that I watch Lucha Underground for.
I can't get it no more. Apparently, that stupid channel's off of DirecTV.
Oh, crap.
El Rey is off DirecTV?
It won't show up on mine unless they've changed the channel. I went looking for it the other day, and it's not on my DirecTV. It's grayed out.
That's a mistake.
Yeah. I tried to record it. I went and found Lucha Underground on the program or on the guide, and it was grayed out. I couldn't record it, and I was a couple days in advance. So I'm not sure what the deal is, but I can't get it no more.
That sucks. That's a huge loss. If El Rey is not on DirecTV anymore, that's a big loss. I'll have to look into that a little further.
It may just be a different package that I'm not paying for.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Damn that DirecTV.
TMZ reports, by the way, that Chyna had been dead for a day or two. God, that's bad. Where was her friends? Where was her family and all that? That's awful. Apparently, the rumor was she had been seen, by the way, with the wrong crowd, basically. The people she had been surrounding herself with certainly weren't lending any kind of assistance to sobriety. We'll put it that way. And then, of course, just recently, just amazingly, it's still a shock to the system here. Prince dies. Found in an elevator at his studio. That's a huge loss to the music community.
I agree. Definitely, he was. He had the staying power. Started in the late '70s, early '80s, and still around and still relevant today. That doesn't happen every day.
Rob, thoughts on Prince?
Oh, I agree. I think I was astonished at the songs that I didn't realize that he had written that other stars had made famous.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had like Brian said, he had the staying power, and I had thought that, and I guess you think this with any stars, like once they reach a certain point, all that kind of stuff you don't have to worry about, that kind of stuff's not going to happen. But then, the thing with Chyna, it's just like, when you surround yourself with people that all they care about is you helping them get their next hit.
Right.
Then they don't care about you until you're going to call them and say, hey, I got more. But Prince definitely is going to be a blow to the music industry. And I heard that, I don't know if it's true, because, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, contrary to popular belief. I heard that they're possibly opening an investigation into it. But I see that they've already held the memorial and everything. That was pretty quick.
Yeah, they apparently he was cremated. I wonder where they're going to spread his ashes. I'm curious about that. Hey, what was your favorite Prince song?
Party Like It's 1999. Among others.
Brian?
I like more of his older stuff. When he changed to the symbol, I kind of stopped listening to him. But again, mine would be the older stuff. Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, that type of stuff.
Before we head to our first break of the evening, one of my favorite Prince songs actually was in the Batman soundtrack, where they're where they're going through the art gallery. I think it's called Party Man. I always thought that was a pretty cool song.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten about that song.
Electric Chair. Thank you, Eddie.
No.
Eddie with the factuals, right?
Actually, I do believe
factoids from it.
I think you're right on Party Man, but by the same token, Electric Chair from the Batman soundtrack was mine.
Ah, okay, my mistake. Sorry.
Oh no, that's cool.
Oh man, what a bummer way to start off the show. God, I'm sorry. You know what? We're gonna take a break. We're gonna reset. We're gonna come back, and damn it, we're gonna be in a good mood. I don't care what you guys think. Stick with us right here on Beyond. What's that?
Then who's leaving? Okay.
Ouch. Oh, damn. And with that, we're going to break. Stick with us on Corner to Corner Radio. We'll be back right here on www.beyondringside.com.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clive Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody, to Corner Radio, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. We're so glad you're joining us this evening. Trying to liven the mood, talking about good stuff. This week, for the first time ever, Samoa Joe wins the NXT Championship from Finn Balor at an NXT house show. What a huge news and a huge happening. Brian, you had a good stat there. What was that you were bringing up in the production?
Joe's the first to win the TNA, Ring of Honor, and Next title. He is the one and only.
Wow. That's a pretty awesome statistic. When you really think about it, this is a guy that is a self-made man, doesn't have to have the machine making his gimmick, making his character, his anything. And he goes in from, just like you said, Ring of Honor, winning their title, TNA, dominant as their champion, both X Division and World Champion. So, yeah, I mean, this is a big step forward for him. And the rumor now, even though I'm starting to see attempts to squash it before it really gets out of hand, the rumor now is that Finn Balor is on his way to Raw this coming Monday.
All right, so
The Balor Club.
Let's talk cold turkey.
Let's do it.
All right, so if Balor comes up, do they go Bullet Club or do they go Balor Club? And what does Balor Club mean for AJ?
That's an interesting question. If it's me, I would do the Balor Club just to avoid, kind of riding on the Bullet Club. I would go ahead and just keep doing the Balor Club, but I think you have a better option if you did. What's the T-shirt say? It says bulletproof, something like that. I mean, they could probably do a play on it. I just think that the smart money is having all 4 guys in the group and have them run roughshod.
Well, do you do it now, or do you wait for AJ to? Do you help AJ win the title?
I think you do the swerve where you inadvertently help AJ win the title. He gets the cover, and on the following Monday night, confronted by Roman Reigns, what are you doing? You suckered me. AJ swears up and down, hey, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. Cue the beatdown.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I hope it happens. I've been waiting for this for quite some time. I would like to see them go with the Bullet Club if they can pull it off, and then bring in a few more members down the road. Because I really like the Bullet Club. I think it could work in the WWE. So I would like to see more, personally.
Rob, what do you think? Bullet Club, Balor Club, what do you think they do?
I think they do Balor Club as bulletproof. Something, but I agree there. I think you need to establish a team kind of like what they had when they originally brought the Shield out.
Okay.
When the Shield originally came out, that was like they just kicked everybody's ass and they didn't care. Sorry, I said ass. I'm sorry. I'll stop saying ass. Damn it! I'll stop saying
ass.
But whatever the end of this tag team tournament will be, say New Day keeps it. Well, they could lose it on Monday to Brian's boys. Therefore, you could have the Balor Club or Bullet Club start, and they all have the belts.
That's Mr. Anderson and Gallows to you, buddy.
But then you could have Finn Balor come up and easily beat Kalisto and take the U.S. title.
And all 4 titles, all 4 major titles.
And just have them standing in the ring going, "It's a new day. This is a new era." And then you could bring Shane McMahon back and be like, "Yep, this is my boys, and this is how we're going to do it."
Would it be too soon? Would it be too soon to turn AJ heel in that regard? Because the basic setup for that is as a heel turn, and with the popularity that he has, would it be too soon? Also, with the popularity that you have in Finn Balor in the Demon, would it be too soon for that?
All right, so here.
I don't think it would matter.
As far as the Bullet Club goes, okay, much like Bret Hart, when Bret was in the U.S., people hated him. But when he was in Canada, people loved him. And I think it works the same way here with the Bullet Club, where in America, everybody loves him. Everybody cheers for him. And over in Japan, they were the bad guys. If you watch Ring of Honor, whenever they show up, the crowd goes ballistic for them. And I think they're one of those little groups, kind of like the Wyatts, where they're not really good guys, and they're not really bad guys. They just walk that fine line. And I think AJ is the type of guy that can pull that off, just walking that middle fence. And it's not going to matter if AJ's a technical good guy or bad guy. Everybody's going to love him.
Who's to say you couldn't stretch it for months on end? Continuously have the Balor Club interfere on AJ's behalf, but AJ consistently backs him off, maybe even teases a fight. I mean, the Horsemen did this a few times with Flair suckering in Sting most times. You do a tag match, and you'd have, Sting working the majority of the tag match, Flair tags in, suckers him, hits a DDT or something like that. I mean, you could see these kinds of things unfold. You really can do those things now, and they would seem brand new.
I think people are going to love it if you officially put them together. And they're not going to care if they run roughshod, or they're not going to care if Balor's in there or what. They're just going to eat it up. They're some of the best in the world right now, and people are just happy to watch them.
So here's some comic relief for you. The Young Bucks posted on Twitter their entrance gear from the most recent show they were doing over the weekend. The gear is their pants and jackets, and all over both is their faces, just different pictures from their selfies. That was their ring gear.
Just say no. That's all I gotta say.
It was a little creepy. I looked at it.
No.
I was like, wow.
I love the Young Bucks.
Super kick!
I think they're phenomenal. No fun on AJ there. I mean, everybody should go to a Super Kick party.
But just think about it. Just imagine if they put AJ and then have him feud with the have the Bullet Club, Balor Club, whatever. But I mean, could they go by the Balor Club if Balor is not,
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point, because does Balor lead or does AJ lead?
And I think at this point it would be AJ leading, because AJ has established himself already as a main eventer, But you put them against the Wyatts, two factions that nobody. It doesn't matter what they are; people are going to cheer for them. But WWE's got some great things in the works. It's just if they do it right, or are we just going to sit here 3 months from now and be like, oh, look at that. Here we are, Roman Reigns on the longest champion streak ever.
Hey, he's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy.
I'm sorry. His promos, his promos and his talk, he is one step away from them going to a commercial break while he's talking.
That would be funny. Actually, that would probably work better for him if they went to a commercial break, and then when they come back, he's just throwing a temper tantrum in the back, throwing crap all over the place.
I think it's coming up on time from the turn.
I mean, that those stars that they put all this stuff and all this money and time to invest into their entrance, and then a month down the road, you come back from commercial and there they are in the ring. This is where Roman Reigns. I mean, nobody cares. I mean, seriously, the damn announcers get more pop than the world champion.
So here's a thought. Roman Reigns ends up winning. There's a lot of smoke going on all of a sudden. Roman Reigns ends up beating AJ Styles. Let's just say he turns the tables and turns the outside interference into his positive. Is it feasible to say that Roman Reigns joins the Balor Club instead of AJ Styles?
No. I think what
Eddie says a definite no.
I think what we're witnessing again is a change that is taking place in the WWE. And I think they realized their mistake with Reigns. And I think even if he walks away, there's no way in the world they would put him with that type of organization, because then he's definitely going to take away from it. Literally, I mean, I want you to think about this. Balor, Anderson, Gallows, and Roman Reigns.
Eddie, that's not nice.
Well, that's like Paul Roma being a horseman.
Oh, worst ever. Yeah.
I mean, damn. I mean, what next? You gonna throw the Mulkeys in there?
Well, for the record, yes, Mr. Romo, you were the worst ever as a horseman. I don't care what you said on the little video. You were bad.
Worse than Mongo?
I actually liked Mongo and his little chihuahua.
I mean,
Peppy.
And don't forget, he brought Deborah to us. You know?
Yep.
Steve Austin's really thankful of that. He's still paying for it.
Wham! She should have saw it coming. Sorry.
But
Too soon.
Terrible.
I mean, here's the thing. What we want to see half the time on WWE, I mean, how often does it happen? How often do they give us what we want?
I mean, think about it. We were all sitting here going, what's the best thing they could do is give Shane the WWE, right? So
Right.
then, now, he's been running, as I'm doing my air quotes you all can't see, Raw.
We got a show made for video. Oh, wait.
You know, like, the air quote, like, he's running Raw,
Right.
you know, because that's what people want. Well, yes, some of these stars in the main event matches and things like that, like AJ Styles is, you know, but I mean, really, I mean, what change has there been, except the fact that we don't have a 30-minute promo from Stephanie and Triple H?
Well,
I mean,
personally, I think their game has just been stepped up. Not to include the new talent that is clearly fresher than the crap you have on there now. And I think somebody's paying attention because look at the tag team tournament. Yeah, you have the Ballz Villains versus Enzo and Cass. And who would have seen that one coming?
I'm amazed by. I mean, I'm happy, but I'm amazed that Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains are in the finals of the tag tournament. Also, the amazing part to that is that the Usos and the Dudleys aren't even sniffing a title shot right now. I mean, it's crazy. It's great, but it's crazy. I mean, with what I tell you, who else has looked great? How about Cesaro? What a comeback from him coming after this injury. Getting his Intercontinental title shot this coming pay-per-view. Or $9.99 per view, as Eddie says.
Well, I think he rightly deserved that shot, and before he got injured, I think he was in the right direction. If he hadn't gotten injured, you know, it could have been Cesaro and AJ for the world title as much
Oh,
heat
my God.
back then.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would have saved us from all this Roman Reigns bull, blah, blah, blah.
So it's obvious that Roman Reigns' clock is ticking. I mean, and
TikTok.
It's definitely ticking, and I'm a fan. I believe that he's a good star, but at the same point, there's really
shut up.
There's not much else they can do with the guy. I mean, it's just the truth.
Yeah,
But you're like, oh, I'm a big fan. Like, oh, stop it.
What?
Here's
I'm a
something
fan.
with the fan.
Yes.
You can drop them to the level of like The Miz and let them wrestle on some match that nobody really gives two flying poops about.
Wow, the level of the Miz. Damn. Well, I mean, I guess it's feasible. They did it to the Miz, and he spent how long on top?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Good
look
point.
at the belt now. Like, they built the Intercontinental title up with Kevin Owens. You
Yeah.
know? Like, oh, the Intercontinental title has some meaning. Boom. Then they give it to Zack Ryder, which everybody's like, hey, finally he gets a shot. And then now it's gone the Miz. Like, I don't know. Are people more excited to see the Miz come to the ring or the fact that his wife's back in the WWE?
Well,
And they're waiting. You know,
Can't argue with Maurice, man.
I mean,
it's kind of like the U.S. title. You know, that U.S. title definitely lacked its luster for a long time. And then you put it on Cena, the biggest guy you got. And what do? U.S. Open Challenge. And it's great again. And now look at it. It's on one half of a tag team and it's never defended. Ever.
Oh, well, and then the U.S. champion starts losing non-title matches. Like, he loses a non-title match to Ryback. What the hell? I mean, why? Why do that? It makes no sense.
And why Ryback? But here's, like, you all brought up The Miz. There is victim A number 1 for Finn Balor.
Oh, that would be great.
Finn Balor going to come in that demon garb and just knock his block off. You know, like,
that would be cool. I think that'd be an awesome way to debut that, just to have. I mean, it would suck because ultimately what that means is that Miz beats Cesaro somehow. But I think having Finn Balor come out and be the guy to take the title off of the Miz would be cool.
Yeah, but it's easy to beat Cesaro with Maurice around. You just do what Flair would do and just have her cheat at the right moment and get caught. That's the easy way to go over Cesaro and keep the title with him getting the win.
Yeah, I mean the whole story behind Miz's character, his whole gimmick is, do what you got to do to cheat to win.
Yeah.
To snake out of it, and so you can easily have him. She comes in and she slaps Cesaro, and boom, disqualification.
I think it was Rob that mentioned, guys that just haven't done worth of crap, and people kind of poo-poo the guy's name. How about this guy who's apparently now headed out the door, Jack Swagger, apparently working his last match for WWE in their overseas tour?
I think it might be a little bit of some misuse as far as talent, again, that they don't use right. But I think they're, eventually they're just going to cut weight with some of these guys, let them move on, because where else are they really going to go right now? And that's why you start to see more names come up from next.
Well, Brian's got a great angle with that. Like right now, Vince McMahon is in the driver's seat of anybody's career. Because out of all the places, every wrestler always wants to get to the WWE. There's those that don't care if they ever make it, but to be able to step foot in the WWE ring once, you sign with the WWE and then he owns you. He punks you out at different cards, different main events, takes your character or whatever. Then where are you going to go?
That's a valid point. I mean, there's guys that get signed to WWE and sign their lives away on those contracts, do whatever that they think they've got to do to be a big star, and then months after they've been fired, like we saw with the Dudleys and saw with Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg, were their names. They weren't able to use the names that they had built. Now, thankfully, we were able to see them kind of recover from that, especially the Dudleys. I don't think it would have been a question. But it's amazing to me seeing some of those guys that end up signing their information away. That's why it's so cool to see Samoa Joe and Austin Aries there under their name that they've already created.
Right. I mean, I kind of compare it to, I know not everybody's a NASCAR fan, but like NASCAR had the driver development program for years, and then these big teams would scoop up all this young talent of these drivers who are like the next big thing. So you got these 14, 15-year-old kids driving for Joe Gibbs, Jack Roush, Richard Childress, or whatever. Well, then what happens is after a few years, there's no seats available. So they've been riding all this talent, promised a cup ride, promised their main event at WrestleMania or their match at WrestleMania, and then there's no spot for them at the table. So then they take whatever they can get to run a race. That's why you have these guys on Sunday who get in these cars that they know they're not going to win in just because they want to be in the top level. So you got guys that will sign with the WWE just because they want to sign with the WWE. and they don't care what they ever do.
Well, I think part of the problem is some of these guys are more or less homegrown talent that the WWE invested a lot of money in and then just kind of blew up in their faces. So
I think it's a valid concern when you talk about Jack Swagger about underutilized talent. Here's a guy that had all of the tools to be technically proficient in the ring. Yes, his promos suffered some. I don't think it was really his function, though. I think he could have been very similar to that of a Samoa Joe as far as just a no-nonsense guy, just gets in the ring and kicks butt. It always confuses me when they take a guy that you know is technically and physically gifted and they attempt to make him into a comedy act or make him sit there and talk for 15 minutes when it's just not necessary. It's not that he needs the improvement or doesn't need it. I think we already know that he needed the improvement on the microphone, but it's not necessary. It just doesn't make any sense. It always, like when they used to do that with Chris Benoit, they would try to make him cut promos, and it's like, this guy can't talk worth a damn. Why would you do this? Eddie Guerrero, on the other hand, that guy could cut a promo.
What was his name? Eugene.
Right.
I thought he had amazing talent, and then you bring him in to play that type of character, and you have to be amazing to play that type of character. And to me, that was another great performer that was simply wasted on somebody's whims, and I don't know who wants to take credit for that, but that was a big missed opportunity.
I agree. I think they could have done a whole lot more with Eugene. I think Nick Dinsmore is a remarkably gifted trainer and talent in general, but the guy has spent so much time in the ring that it was underutilized and never given a legitimate, true opportunity. Having him come out as a special needs character was unique because I don't think it had ever been done before. And the way he did it, only a guy who is confident in his abilities would be able to pull that off. And only a guy that is able to accept that this is a character, that this is entertainment, is able to pull that off in such a remarkable fashion. I just couldn't see anybody else do that, at least not in recent memory.
You know, Stan, I just hit an epiphany. There it is. Epiphany. You know what they should have done with him?
What's that?
When we had this computer that was the general manager.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome for him to come out in like a three-piece suit and to quote Buff Bagwell, "You people are so stupid." And
I would have liked to have seen that.
That would have been fantastic. Oh, another missed opportunity. Oh, Ben, we can take millions. Give me a call.
Folks, we're going to go ahead and take our second break of the evening. When we come back, we've got tons more to talk about. Man, it's just lots and lots to look forward to. And we'll get through some of our predictions for Payback as it starts to roll out. I believe it's this coming weekend. I think. They haven't really decided, I don't think.
Allegedly.
Yeah, exactly, allegedly. So stick with us. We're going to be right back here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Corner to Corner will be back with you in a few.
Beyond your ringside.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Corner Radio right here on Beyond Ringside. So glad to have you this evening. Been a nice hour so far, just kind of talking about the week that was and some of the news. And we kind of started getting into a nice little discussion as far as who would you say was the best and worst of the Horsemen. It's a interesting discussion, and we're actually looking at scheduling this out, put a good hour together, and talk about how we would rank the Horsemen. I think that'd be a good conversation as well. So guys,
if you're listening, feel free to call in that night, and I'll be happy to let you know where you rank.
And you said it wrong, Stan. It's
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
Houseman.
Hoffman.
The Houseman. The Houseman.
Hey, I didn't know that Butch Reed had any kind of affiliation with the Horsemen. What was that about? Can somebody bring me up to speed?
Butch Reed.
You're stealing the stuff from the show, Stan.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go on, check that wiki or something.
We're gonna have to look that up and get further details.
I'm
Call that a teaser, if you will.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure on that one. I think didn't he feud with them or something, but I don't recall him ever being connected with them.
Yeah, I don't either, but I'm going to do some research on that. That was something that brought up in the production chat that I'm intrigued by. So, guys, I did pull... What's that?
I said, look it up. We'll
I'm going to do that.
for a few minutes.
So, I did pull up the card for Payback, so we are going to run through that. They've got it set up for May 1st, but I can't for the life of me, while I'm looking up the Butch Reed thing, can't for the life of me remember them actually stating the date they were doing this show until I pulled it up on WWE.com, and now I've got the hiccups and it hurts.
Let me
It's
cut in.
probably the least promoted pay-per-view since Roadblock or whatever they had.
Do me a favor, hold up, because if you look at the page that Payback is listed on the left-hand side of the page, it simply says Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific time, and on the right side of the page, it says May 1.
Wow.
Not the best layout. By the way, the new WWE.com layout, not my favorite.
Damn. Too bad they didn't pull this crap April 1st. You know, it could have been a good April Fool's joke. All right. See, they can't even get their months right.
Surprise!
They're just taking a page out of the TNA playbook and being a month behind.
All right. Passion of them. Hey, did we mention last week about the Harris brothers?
No, that broke this week, buddy. That's a great point. So here's something that everybody will dig. TNA, of course, has been actively seeking investors. Yeah, they'll dig that, man. They dig that.
The hell is this, like 70s radio? Come on, we got something for you to dig.
Don't be giving me no jive.
Like, you better shut your mouth.
So TNA's been actively seeking investors. And apparently the company that has been feeding them money, apparently over the past month or two, is actually been announced as a company called Aerolux. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. But two men in charge of this company is the guys formerly known as Creative Control, Jacob and Eli Blue, the Bruise brothers, the Harris twins, are apparently in charge of this company and have been funding, very quietly might I add, TNA's activities within the past few months.
Yes. Hopefully it's going to officially change hands in the near future and we can get on with some good wrestling. No matter what you two think.
I mean, they want their goal is to have Dixie Carter not in control. That's what they want. I don't know that I see that happening.
Well, I guess if they become primary owners, she ain't going to have a choice. And I think I read that they have the ability to pull that off. So,
I think yeah.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Well, I mean, I think it comes to a certain point where a company has lost its identity, shall we say. Like, they are just so desperate to keep TNA afloat. They're getting to the point where they'll partner with anybody as long as they have money. You know, and it's going to take somebody like, I mean, maybe somebody like the Harris brothers or, you know, Jeff Jarrett. You know, look what he did. He created it. Now he's created his own. But, it's just one of those things. Like, you see it with any company. You see it with anything that tries to stay afloat by bringing on different partners and partnering with different people. And then eventually that person loses its identity and it becomes a new company. But then in order to reestablish itself, it has to go out on its own again.
Sounds like we got a couple of haters.
How you doing?
How you doing? Bada bing, bada boom.
Realest guy in the room.
That's for you, Rob. That's for you. I know you quoted him earlier. I know you're an Enzo and Cass type guy. You just don't want to admit it yet, do you? Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be certified. And I don't know if you're certified.
Oh, I'm bona fide.
No,
Certified
you ain't.
G.
And you
I'll tell you what I
can't
think of y'all.
teach that.
I'll tell you what I think of y'all. I'm going to spell that out for you. I think y'all are SAWFT. Soft?
That's not what you said that one night you got drunk.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's a new millennium, kid.
That means I can use whatever bathroom I want.
You pretty lit boy.
Why you always talk about my mouth, man? You make me uncomfortable. I can't be near you no more.
Not what you did last night. Now, speaking
Remember
of things,
Eddie, remember what they said during the break, how Brian was saying how I behaved myself, and it's been all nice, and
no. I said
damn.
I had not fucked yet.
Like, Brian just comes out in the second hour and rips the Band-Aid off. Like, ha-ha!
Well,
Apparently rips the Band-Aid off and takes his pants down. But, hey.
people tune in to make fun of Stan.
Oh, you guys are screwed up, man.
At 10:15, we are finally giving the people what they're looking for.
I know, there are some sober people that are like, damn, I have not been this sober listening to Corner to Corner before.
Yep.
Damn.
If you're taking the Stan drinking game, yes, drink again.
Damn.
They made fun of Stan at 10:15. Damn it.
The floodgates are open.
Damn it, I got to work tomorrow. I can't get... They got to start making fun of him earlier in the show.
They started late, them bastards.
Oh. Wow.
Anybody else get nervous when you watch like Ring of Honor in their Japanese shows and half the audience has face masks on? Like, oh, look at all these American wrestlers. I'm not breathing. Do not breathe in what they have.
No, but I was quite shocked. What was it, last week on New Japan when they were in like type arena? Crap, I forget where they said it was, but it was a very small arena. But they had it packed, and I was like, man, it's been a long time seeing something like that. A small ass fucking arena. Because normally, not Ring of Honor, New Japan, when you turn it on, they're in that big fucking dump. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I did this twice. Holy jeez.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brian from now on will be on a 5-second delay.
And there it goes. All right.
Wow, buddy. That's twice. Twice in 5 seconds.
we have innuendos and the F word. Boom! This just got PG-13.
Innuendos don't count.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't count.
I'm sitting here with the mute button going, holy crap.
And Stan's like, I said the C word. I said crap.
I'm trying to keep it under wraps, man.
All right.
We can't all be like Brian.
I'm such a potty mouth.
All right, so check this out, Stan.
All right.
I'm cataloging some old comic books.
Right.
And I just happened to come across, it's called The 10th Muse, from Image Comics way back in the day. It's the #1 issue, and it's a photo cover with Reno Mara on it.
What?
Miss Sable is on the cover.
Sable! Channeling my inner Luna Vachon.
That's Mrs. Lesnar to you all?
Yeah, right? That is the respectable, saintly one.
Yes.
Mrs. Lesnar.
Yeah. Go ahead, call her Sable to her face and see what happens.
Oh, I'm sure she gets called that all the time. He probably does it too. Come on, play.
That's what he does after she's gone off on him.
I make all the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, always. Anytime I think of that, it reminds me of poor Mark Marrow. Just there's a guy that had all sorts of potential, and I mean he's doing a lot better now. He's doing a lot of motivational speaking, so you got to give him credit for that. But he got the raw end of that deal.
He should have stayed in WCW and stayed Johnny B. What was it, Johnny B. Good or Johnny B. Bad?
Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah. I thought Johnny B. Bad was a funny character. I mean, I don't understand why he actually left. Oh, I mean, aside from the money. I mean, let's be real. There's Vince money and there was WCW money. This is before Ted Turner was opening the gates.
WCW.
It's survey time once again.
Oh, so there's a new interview with Kevin Nash out that y'all should take a look at.
Alrighty.
I've seen the trailer. I think it's like WCW. They're talking about WCW in 1997 or something. There's some really good stuff on it. The trailer alone is worth the price.
I wonder how many other stories can there possibly be about WCW now? I mean, like, we've seen and we've heard just about everything there is to hear.
No, I would imagine for everything you've probably heard, there's probably a million things you haven't heard. I mean, you have to admit that was probably the most dysfunctional organization. So, in the last 30 years. I mean, he even goes so far as to say that when they made fun of Arn Anderson, everybody knew about it, and everybody was okay with it until the wives saw it and started, oh, they made y'all look stupid, and that's when everybody got butthurt over.
Huh.
Hashtag butthurt.
The hashtag of the evening.
Drink again. You might as well get drunk. You just should get. Oh, there it is.
Oh, jeez. All right, somebody needs to take Brian out back and put him out of his misery.
Hey, Stan. Why does everything have to refer around innuendos with you about butthurt and then taking Brian out back?
Wait a minute. How did this come back to me? All right, everybody drink again. That's not what you said the other day.
Oh, another one.
Take that.
Wanger.
Stan's used to taking them, but, he gets. He's not used to giving it.
Yes.
Pitching or catching baseball. That's all I'm saying on that.
That's it. Screw this. I'll see you Thursday.
Oh, going to your other. Yeah. Fantastic.
They like me over there on Thursdays.
They don't know you.
Well, that's true.
Eddie just knows the keyboard stand.
It's the same guy.
He doesn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Screw you. You're not mean, man. I don't need none of y'all. I don't need you.
Stan, are you down there on your little wrestling show?
Mom! I almost got you there. You almost got right there, Mom.
Did you bring me the special milk from the store?
All right. So before this goes any further, okay, I think there should be some explanation involved. Okay? So,
About my mom?
oh, yeah. Because,
Here we go, talking about your mom again.
yeah,
Damn, everybody's drinking tonight.
no. See, what the people don't know, because we haven't given them this backstory, is that, 20-some years ago when this whole thing started rolling, actually probably longer than that, we used to go to Stan's house at about 11 o'clock at night, and we get to commencing to beating the crap out of each other just to do it. And Stan's most heavenly mom, who was always
My mother is a saint.
yes, I said heavenly, would have to come to the top of the stairs and would scream down in her deepest voice for us to stop wrestling. So that's where this comes from. And
Somehow in the middle of all of this, my mother has become Jewish, and the raspiest voice known to man.
what Stan? She smokes menthol. She's got a raspy voice. She's always had that raspy voice.
She smokes cigarettes the size of yardsticks.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue with that. They were pretty daggone huge cigarettes.
I mean, somebody else had to light it for her. It was so far out.
She would we would be wrestling. We would think that we were being quiet. And yeah, not so much.
Okay, people.
5 minutes later,
The group of us wrestling is like drunk guys trying to have a conversation.
pretty much.
No.
Imagine your closest friends and you all joking at the bar, trying to get the next zinger in, and fighting each other just to do it. Clumsy, painful. What do you want to describe it as? I mean, one guy.
But I will say, Stan's mom, you are a nice woman. Thank you for putting up with him. You are a saint.
We love you. We love you.
We honestly love you. All right, I'm not doing it. I'm not going any
Why'd you have to
further.
go there? That's your serenade for Brian. Stop trying to play it off.
Whoa, watch it now. Watch it now.
Then when y'all move to the lake and we be playing Raw Deal or Nitro, whatever it was.
Whatever game was hot at the time.
We just couldn't shut our mouths for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there's the times where we we held our own Royal Rumble in a townhouse after it had been cleared out. There's times where we had, as we told the story of young Master TJ smashing his head on the footboard or the headboard of the bed, trying to do a Frankenstein or do a 6'2".
Well, let's not forget the box.
The incident that will forever live in infamy. You haven't lived until you're sitting in a room as a cardboard box flies in slow motion, heading for the one person you hope to God it never hits.
And it had been raining for 3 days, people. But when that box hit it final target, yeah, everybody in that house.
All right. They didn't tune in.
Went outside.
For the scrap.
I think actually they kind of get a kick out of it. I think that they're curious to say, what? Who did what now to what? Mm-hmm. It was nothing. It was nothing to see the four of us on any Monday night or Sunday when there was a pay-per-view in the middle of whatever down point of the show it was, whether it was the Divas or the Nitro Girls or whatever, or Goldust coming out dressed up as Sable.
Oh, yeah. I gotta tell them how y'all enjoyed that little bit, too.
Oh, and Shawn Michaels would come out.
No. Let's not overlook Goldust if we're telling stories. how y'all were just all up on the TV licking that damn thing because it was in the little lingerie. And I told y'all, didn't I? I told y'all it wasn't her.
So we'll do it real quick because we got to go into our last break of the evening. So Goldust is doing his gimmick where he's dressing up like everybody else. And at this point, Sable had been coming out and taking her top off and all this craziness. Funny how we were just talking about her. Anyway, so Goldust comes out one night in full wig, lingerie, the whole 9 yards. But here's the thing. At first, hard to believe as it is, we don't realize it's not Sable.
No, not all of us.
Well, no, that's true. I was getting to that.
Oh no! Now, 10 years ago, it's not all of us. But,
right, yeah.
That's
okay.
Didn't fall for that one. That's why it's so funny.
There we are, all of us going, damn, like staring, thinking, it's Sable, her music, I mean, everything. And then, of course, Goldust comes about halfway down the aisle, and the cellulite is in full effect, and suddenly the lighting is better, and our vision improves magically. I promise we weren't doing any kind of drugs or drinking. And instantly, Brian looks at us like the cat that ate the canary, and just starts laughing, rolling, dying. Because here we all are like, oh, that's Goldust. It was the most awkward moment for a teenage boy to ever... No, seriously. It was definitely an awkward moment in wrestling history for us. Not our finest hour. Funniest point, probably. But not our finest hour.
No,
Hey, we're going to go ahead...
I think we've done better than that.
Oh, there's no end. There's no end to the different things that have happened there. We've got our last break of the evening coming up. And when we come back, we'll do our predictions for Payback, talk a little bit, maybe throw another story out there. Who knows?
that's how much we look forward to Payback. In fact, we talked to, hey, Payback's coming, never mind next.
Well, I mean, it beats talking about TNA. Hey, we're going to be right back right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Haters got to know.
Couple of haters. We'll be right back here, corner to corner. Be back in a few.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Welcome back. It's the home run round of Corner to Corner. Oh, wait. Oh, I have heard that before. Yes, I have. Eddie, that's Eddie's thing. I was being stupid. It was good and all. But welcome back to Corner, everybody. It's good to have everyone here. Really excited because we're coming up on Payback. Hey, this is the most awesome built pay-per-view ever. We just learned the date of the show, by the way, tonight, an hour ago. But that's okay. Hey, we're excited because we get an opportunity to find out if AJ Styles can become the World Heavyweight Champion. Great card lineup, to be honest with you. I can't understand why the build-up hasn't been better. I mean, they definitely had better matches on Raw, but the build-up for Payback, as far as any kind of promotion, really hasn't been there.
They took TNA lessons from 3 years ago.
What's that now?
They took TNA lessons from 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's not a good thing, too. You don't want to take lessons from TNA. That's kind of like, drinking after somebody that's got gonosyphilis or something. It's just not smart.
All right, man. Y'all are killing me with this TNA talk.
Finals of the WWE number 1 contenders tag team tournament. Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. Rob, who you got?
Enzo and Cass.
Brian?
I'm going to have to say the Vaudevillains.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. As much as I love Enzo and Cass, I think the Vaudevillains will just work out better with Enzo and Cass chasing them for the title.
Wow. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it sounds like we got a couple of haters over here, got a hater over there.
Couple of
Can't
haters.
believe
He's a bona fide hater.
Dang. I mean, what's up with that? The quote
And-
Shane Help. What's up with that?
I got a bone to pick with Enzo and Cass because they're corrupting my 8-year-old daughter, who's now trying to talk like an Italian.
Yeah. Because Italians know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wait, what?
Stan has just successfully insulted an entire nationality. Way to go.
To back that up, I'm going to pick Enzo and Cass.
So, by the way, Rob, Brian, are y'all okay with hosting the show next week?
Yes, we are.
Damn.
We are.
Thank you, Eddie.
Who was it that just took the shot at the Italians, and who's the short, fat wop who's running the board?
Hey, I'm an Italian guy myself.
Oh.
I think you can't say that on the air, by the way.
What's that?
I'm not saying it again.
What?
That's a nice try.
Oh, you mean when I actually referred to myself as the short, fat wop?
Whoa, what? What the hell?
You'll be finding... You can follow Stan on Instagram at StanUsedToHaveARadioShow.com, and he'll also have a MySpace page, and
he's also
he'll be on YouTube.
He'll be on Tout in a minute.
Yeah,
Not Tout. Does anybody even still use that?
Not a damn person. It's
he'll be on Tout, but also the depressed version called Pout.
Yeah, called Pout.
yeah.
And Stan will also be signing autographs.
Okay. See, here's the thing that people got to realize. It's okay. Here's the thing everybody got to realize. An Irish person can call themselves a Mick. A Soviet individual or Russian person can call themselves a Red. A Japanese person can call themselves whatever the hell they want to, including probably Rich.
Is anybody else getting kind of awkward here? Just saying.
And it's perfectly fine for an Italian person to call themselves a wop, just like it's okay for a brother to call themselves the word that nobody can use in public without getting shot at.
Now.
Ding dong, I had this under control. Damn it, I thought I jumped to conclusions. You use a pogo stick.
I'm just trying to keep
And
it
he
real.
doesn't use it for just bouncing either.
Yeah, no, that's what she said.
Watch it now. Whoa! Man, we're just getting all kinds of rowdy up in her.
Continue, 15 out.
Keep moving. How about Charlotte and Natalya for the women's championship? Almost said it. I'm going to say Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I think that's fair to Flair. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a grudge match. I'm
Double
looking forward to this.
disqualification.
You know what? I would have to agree. Something here just smells like a non-finish. I'm going to have to agree with Rob. Say a double DQ or double count out, something like that. Maybe even a time limit draw.
I think Owens is going to get it. He's going to keep on rolling.
KO Mania 2.
Next.
Next up, Chris
It's a
Jericho.
great wrestling organization.
It is a great wrestling organization. Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose in yet another grudge match. I will say that the Ambrose Asylum taking over for the highlight reel has been a good highlight. Been very, no pun intended, very funny. Really enjoyed it. What's going to come out of this? I mean, who knows? I'm going to guess and say that Jericho ends up losing to Dean Ambrose.
I agree. Ambrose.
I think Jericho wins. I think if Jericho loses, then he falls behind AJ if AJ wins. But if you keep Jericho winning right behind AJ, then you're going to set yourself up for a feud somewhere down the line.
Right. Now, speaking of feuds somewhere down the line, we've got The Miz defending the Intercontinental title against Cesaro. I'm going to say Cesaro.
I'm going to second that emotion.
I'm going to say Miz by DQ.
Miz by DQ. Okay. And then the main event. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Snuck up on me there. Damn. Go ahead, buddy.
You just think that they're using the wife gimmick. He's doing the whole, Macho Man thing with Miss Elizabeth, and they're going to use that to their advantage.
I can see how that would work out. I mean, it's feasible that they may stretch Cesaro's ascension to the top as long as they can. He is definitely one of the more popular superstars, especially since returning. I think he's over in a big way. Whether or not it translates into big dollars, we'll see. Main event: AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to go ahead and pick AJ Styles. That's probably thinking with my heart more than my head, but I want to see AJ Styles become champ.
I agree. I think AJ should hopefully be the one to walk out of there with the title.
I want AJ, but I don't think Vince is done with the Roman Reigns machine yet.
There is no machine.
There isn't, but, when's the last time Vince was listening to the people?
I think he's made some good choices lately.
Oh!
I mean, it's going to be an interesting process to see how they move Roman Reigns down the card, if they move him down the card, or if they just simply have him lose the title and just stay in the role that he was in so much with Sheamus and Triple H, where he's just chasing the whole time.
Well, I guess it would depend on what you did with AJ as far as if he went bad or if he stayed a good guy. I don't really. There's no way to me in the world they can make Roman Reigns a good guy again. That's just not going to happen. And this crap, I'm the guy. Yeah, Roman, they're not booing you for the sake of booing you to make you feel like you're important. They're booing you because you suck.
It does seem like too little too late. That's the kind of commentary he could have utilized when they first really started booing him before WrestleMania. Maybe, and even then it may have actually been too late, but it may have had more of an impact, I think, in promos. I think that there's a lot of validity to the thought that the Bullet Club or Balor Club, whatever they decide to call it, forms and costs Roman Reigns the title, whether it's with AJ leading or being the patsy for Balor to join up and ultimately get the title shot and start the feud with AJ Styles, which, I mean, come on, wouldn't we all just love to see that? AJ Styles versus Finn Balor for the title? Man, I think the internet would die.
Possible. It might blow up. You never know.
One of the things that I did see on on social media when they were announcing that Shane McMahon was continuing to lead Raw, it was based off of social media demand. And it's interesting because I was reading some, I guess you could say, I wouldn't say behind the scenes, but just some news on the thought process for putting Shane gosh, this cough is killing me today. For putting Shane in control was more based, right? Crazy. But they're saying for putting Shane in control was more based off of what they thought would be generating higher ratings. But apparently the ratings really haven't moved. They're still generating about a 2 or a 3, but it's not moved the needle quite a bit. It really hasn't moved it at all, according to reports.
Well, I mean, I think it's just kind of like what I was saying, what I've expressed earlier. It's like, every wrestling fan was hoping that when Shane took it over, you'd see him come out and interject himself in the storylines and kind of like what done in the past, or when they've had that special person come out and be like, no, right now, battle royal for the world title, something to change the way it. But it just, to me, yes, they've elevated NXT talent that has been far overdue. They have put some wrestlers have been in the spotlight that should have been. But is this something because Shane is quote unquote in charge, or is this just what was going to happen anyway? So it's like, it's kind of I think the fans are waiting for that Shane shake-up moment.
Right. I mean, there's got to be something, and it's probably coming up closer to, the Baltimore show and things of that nature. I think we're going to see a change, whether it's the brand extension, whether it's something like that. I don't know. I think it's a lot of, from my end, I think there's a lot of concern for doing the brand extension, because now, with so many people out hurt still, what do you do? How do you do this? It's going to take a lot of work, no matter what they do, how they pull it off. It can be done. It's just, you're going to have to really work hard, be creative, and make sure that you're keeping the fans entertained and engaged.
Oh. What?
Agreed, Eddie.
I agree.
Actually, use people properly. I mean, use the talent you have the way that you develop them. They spend all this money developing talent. Like, I mean, look at Neville. They build him as the man that gravity forgot. They put all this stuff behind him, and then they bring him in, and what? It's just like you bring Kevin Owens in, and he turns into you debut him against John Cena. Nothing could be better for your character as Kevin Owens, but you are debuting and instantly in a run with John Cena. And then what happens?
Yeah, it seemed like they couldn't figure out what direction they wanted to take with him, and now they're kind of slowly moving him back up the card, trying to, I guess, gradually give him a push of one way, shape, or form. At the same point, with a guy like John Cena, Seth Rollins, and more of these guys getting hurt, they're now, again, running out of options, and they're going to have to start learning from mistakes. I'm more concerned as to what they do with NXT and how they continue to recruit different talent to come in as they continue to filter more of their main stars up to the main roster. If you do a brand extension, if you do a brand split, you have to start putting yourself in position to backfill, to fill your bench strength.
That's a hint, Stan.
I know, right? I mean, apparently it's time to take it on home. I just got the go home from a chat message. I don't think that's ever happened before.
3 minutes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Proceed. Oh boy! All right. Well,
what's funny is I could see how it was like affecting you. You were like in mid talk. I was like, blah.
Well, because I'm like, this son of a bitch right here.
Look, there you go, Stan. Now, real quick, folks, before we sign it off, I want to remind everybody there is a live edition of the Midnight Black Mass coming up in about 8 minutes from right now. Reverend Dan Wilson, Andrew Alexander going to be calling in just a minute. Real quick, but thing about it is, and this is something I wish I could do, but I can't do it in good conscience. There are two versions that I record. I record the on-air version as well as the production version. Blackmail material for later. Blackmail's such a dirty word. I prefer extortion. But from that vantage point, we also have a production chat. We are notorious all up and down the network for giving each other mortal freaking crap in the middle of that production text chat. If that thing were to ever get released, first off, nobody would understand what the hell it meant unless you understood who was typing what to who and when we were typing it. Blah. Blah. Blah.
Shut up.
Hey, Rob, where can everybody find you on social media?
Oh, they can find... yes! Well, as the new host of Corner to Corner...
Oh, I just got HWO. He's taking over.
As the new number 1 seat to Brian's number 2 seat. Oh, sorry. Just kidding. No, you can find me at Rob Hefner, at RDHUWP on Twitter, at Rob Hefner on Facebook, at Rob Hefner on the Twitter.
I think you meant the RDHUWP on the Instagram.
Yes, Marty Pants.
Yeah, get it right. How come I know your social media better than you know your social media?
Because you're a stalker.
What's my social media?
You can follow Brian on Twitter at STRCP21. Please be sure to tweet him every single day.
You can follow Stan at Slacker at Stalker.com.
I can be found at Stan from Krypton on Twitter. Facebook, of course, Stan Grubb. The Corner to Corner Radio Show on Facebook. Corner to Corner Wrestling.com. At C2C Radio Show on Twitter. Corner to Corner.
And at Eddie's B. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Drink. Oh, God. It's been a great night, guys. I always like when everybody is together. Next week's Payback, so I don't know. Maybe we'll do a pre-recorded bit. We'll talk a little bit during the show. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know. We'll put something up on the air, or we will, at the very least, try to get something recorded midweek and released on Sunday. Other than that, Eddie, why don't you go ahead and tell them live programming resumes in 6 minutes now. And then again on Tuesday night forward, is that GCW Radio first or Back to Basics first?
GCW Radio is first, then Back to Basics.
All right. Then Wednesday night, of course, is the To Be Determined show. Thursday night, the Shooters Gallery, which recently we had Ted Guinness on, which was really cool. He's a pretty good dude. And then, of course, right back here on Sunday for Beyond Ringside Live, Corner to Corner, and the Midnight Black Mass. So when we come back on Sunday, as far as next week, Eddie, are we doing a post-show, pre-show? What do we got for Payback?
Working on that concept now.
All right. So stick with us, folks. Thanks very much for joining us again. We'll have this up on the download feed very soon. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell all their friends too. We'll see you next week. Stick around for the Midnight Black Mass with the Reverend Dan Wilson himself, the Dark Gospel on Beyond Ringside. We'll see you later. Thanks again for joining us.